Okay, trying to get inside the mind of a teenager is nearly impossible. Oh boy, 1 minute they can be laughing, having a great time, the next screaming, slamming the door and saying, I hate you, Mom and Dad.
You're jealous of me just because I'm young. I said that to my mom.
You did?
Yeah, when she's like 35 and beautiful. Most parents would love to know what their little teens are thinking, so we hit the street to ask teenagers themselves if they had one piece of parenting advice, what would it be? It's frustrating for both ends of the generation gap. The younger ones seem to turn off their listen switch, while their parents wonder when their teenagers turn into door slammers. So why can't you talk to your kids anymore? Well, a couple of authors tried to unlock those secrets in a new book called For Parents Only, Getting into the Head of Your Kid. They surveyed young people all across the U.S., and what was the #1 frustration kids complain about?
As a teenager, I feel my parents should give me more freedom.
You heard it, freedom. Then we decided to see for ourselves what other advice young people have for the older generation.
I just tell my parents to have more trust. My parents think like that something bad's gonna happen to me, but I think I'm really responsible.
Parents do things that don't make sense.
They should cut us some slack, I guess.
Give me more respect and let me go more places.
Let us do more of what we want to do and not put restrictions on us, because like it makes us want to do it more.
I don't like being treated like a kid because it makes me feel small.
Instead of just kind of like thinking that we don't really know what we're doing, I guess, you know, just kind of have a chat with them every now and then. Just be like, hey, what's up? How are you?
It makes me feel small.
He is small.
Here with more advice is 15-year-old Tyler Goldfarb.
Hey, Tyler.
17-year-old Lyle Maxton. He's got some advice, too.
Oh, and here they are down on the end, joining us, the authors of For Parents Only. What a good book. How to Get Inside the Head of Your Kid. Shaunti, Feldhahn, and Lisa Rice. Thank you, two, for writing this book. So cool.
Tyler, we're going to start with you. All right.
15.
If you could like break it down to the #1 thing that your parents do that just gets under your skin, what would it be?
I think I hate the most when my parents first try to be, your best friend, try to have like a really good connection, but then switch it off and try to, have an authority. And I think it's like, I don't like it because they're inconsistent, and I feel like it's just not fair. You can't try to be your best friend and then try to have this hard authority.
Give us some examples, though. Like you get your nails done with your mom, that kind of thing?
No, it's like, we try to have we have a lot of trust. And we have get our nails done together. We have like a really good bond.
Sure.
But then, she's like, oh, no, one time, we can go out and, I can go out and go with my friends. But then the next day she's like, no, you can't go out. It's just not fair to me because one day she let me and then the next day she doesn't.
Yeah, that's going back and forth with her
Because
attitude.
I think she feels like, that she's just giving me too much freedom.
Yeah.
Well, what do you feel like? Because I remembered, I think what you're describing, I used to feel like, hey, when I'm buddying up with my mom, she's getting to know me, so she knows I'm a cool chick, and she knows I wouldn't do bad things. But then all of a sudden, she's like, no, you're not staying out until 3 in the morning.
I'm your mom.
What are you talking about?
Lyle, how about you?
Me. I'm cool.
My one thing is privacy.
Oh, yeah.
No privacy in my house whatsoever. My father is a Navy SEAL, so...
Yeah. Lyle, I'd be behaving.
Yes. So whenever it's like I'm going to my room, it's not your room, it's my room, I just let you borrow.
Oh, so you're a renter. He's one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
As long as you're in my house.
Yep.
That kind of stuff.
That's not your phone, it's my phone, I let you borrow it.
Do you have a door on your room?
No.
I do. My sister does not have a doorknob.
What?
Navy SEAL. What a dad. Yeah. Okay, you two, you interviewed thousands of teens.
Yeah.
Is this pretty common?
Yes.
Shaunti?
It really is. Yes, it is. It's so funny to hear what's going on, because this is like, we heard this over and over from kids in like shopping malls across America. It's so funny because it's so easy to want to be your kid's friend, and that's not what they really wanted.
What do teenagers want? Do they want a best friend with their parents?
We asked this in our national survey of teens. We said, if you had a choice between the kind of parent who is your buddy and lets you do anything you want and doesn't really, come down on you on curfew and homework, or do you want the kind of parent who does kind of stay on top of you on all these things? And, believe it or not, 3 out of 4 kids said, give me the parent, not the friend.
Yeah.
You surveyed 1,000 teenagers, and when we come back, we're going to give you some more information, really surprising results from this study.
The #1 teen addiction. It's not booze, it's not drugs. We'll tell you what they really want. Welcome back. We are talking about what really goes on inside of a teenager's head.
With us are teens Tyler and Lyle. Also back with us, authors Shaunti Feldhahn and Lisa Rice. They surveyed 1,000 teens and uncovered the #1 teenage addiction.
It's not booze. It's not cigarettes. It's not drugs.
George Michael?
Actually, it's freedom,
yes.
Believe it or not.
Freedom.
You know, we heard this stuff from the kids. We didn't know what we were hearing, where they would say things like, no offense, but, you know, my mom can't take away my cell phone. That's my cell phone. Yeah. We're like, okay, did your mother pay for the cell phone?
Oh, well,
and,
yeah.
And they'd say, yeah. What's going on? You know, what's going on? Freedom is like cocaine to a teenager. It's addictive. It's intoxicating. They can't get enough of it. And you know what the key is, honestly, Mike? They're terrified of losing it. They are so terrified of losing it that it's like this knee-jerk reaction where sometimes they'll, I mean, I hate to say it, they'll sort of lie, cheat, and steal to keep it, you know, and sort of hide things
You'll
from their
get your
parents.
freedom at 18.
Yeah, that's what a lot of parents like to say. And you know what? They also said they want it so much, but they also know they're not quite ready.
You asked great questions in your survey. What about divorce?
One about divorce. This one I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
When parents are fighting a lot and they clearly are not getting along,
yeah.
Would you rather them, Tyler, get a divorce, or would you rather them stay together?
Definitely get a divorce, because if they're not happy, I don't want to grow up with like, you know, seeing a dysfunctional relationship.
Screaming and yelling is the worst thing for a
because
kid.
that's what I'm going to be like exposed to, and maybe that's what I'm going to think is a normal relationship when clearly it's not.
Are your parents divorced?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why you have that answer. What about you, Lyle?
I feel the same way. Why should we keep our parents together if they're not happy? Don't we want to see our parents happy?
Your parents together?
Yes.
What's the, you know, teenagers are always embarrassed by parents. My kids, oh, you're so lame. Well, I am, actually. What embarrasses you, Lyle? Let's say about your dad.
Okay, my dad, he's
a Navy SEAL. What's embarrassing about him?
Well, he's in his 50s now, and he thinks he's my age. And, you know, I'm like, Dad, come on.
Here we go.
He says he can run a marathon around me, which I'm sure he can. But he says, I'm only as old as I feel, and I'm 30 right now. So I'm like, okay, great for you. You're 52.
Mike's the same way.
I know, that sounds a lot like me.
What are you finding about that?
We actually heard that over and over again. My parents are so embarrassing, you know, or you just don't understand
Not
me.
that your children ever say this.
Oh, no. My
heck
children
no.
would never do this. Other people.
But one of the most poignant questions in the survey was, you asked these kids, what if your mom and dad, as much as you hate them and you're yelling at them, what if you knew they were going to die in the next 24 hours? What would you say?
I would definitely say I love them and they've done the best job they can.
Yeah.
And I would just show them how much I appreciate them and everything they've done in the world.
Lyle?
Of course that I love them and that I respect them for doing what they're doing because they love us, so.
Shaunti?
You know what we found on the survey? Honestly, almost 100% of kids, the same kids who a few questions earlier had been talking about how annoying mom and dad were and, you know, how much they had these sort of angry feelings toward them. And they poured out these statements like, oh, I wish that they knew how much I love them and how sorry I am that I've been such a brat. You know, I mean, we're crying.
And I want to be just like them.
I want to be just like them.
So many great questions that you guys asked in the survey, and we're going to cover a little bit more of that. We're going to ask you all to go into the green room. We're going to drive this segment into our website, mnjshow.com. We've got lots of great stuff on our website. Link my blog. Check it out. Nice job, guys.
Read their book, because most of the questions are in the book. On the book.
If you have kids, you have to read this.
Up ahead, the weight loss challenge that will have you seeing double.